You can know every topic, read every book, revise every note, and still walk out of that exam hall with half the paper blank because mains was never a test of what you know. It is a test of what you can put on paper. 20 answers, 3 hours, one running clock. This is the conclusion of the autopsy of this answer writing and execution for mains 2026. 8 parts, one skill taken apart. Here is what we found, that is 8 parts, one claim. Behind all of them is, that is answer writing. That answer writing is not a talent you are born with or born without. It is a structure, and a structure can be taken apart, understood, and rebuilt in any hand willing to learn it. That was the autopsy of this answer writing and execution for mains 2026. 8 parts, cutting one skill open to see how it works. Let us close it by remembering what we found and what we built from part 1 to part 8. From part 1, you learned to read the demand of the question, to see what the question is actually asking before writing a single word on the paper. This is learned in part 1. And comes to part 2, you learned the architecture of the writing an answer. That an answer has a shape like introduction, body, and conclusion. And the shape carries the marks. This is learn in part 2. Comes to the part 3. You learned to think before the pen. That is retrieve, select, and prioritize. The 2 minutes that decide the next 8 minutes. In the 2 minutes, you decided the plan you make for next 8 minutes to write an answer. Comes to the part 4. In this part 4, you learn to build on the page, to turn a decision into introduction, structure, body, and conclusion fast. In part 4, you learn to build on the page, to turn a decision into structure fast. Then in the part of 5, you learn enrichment like data, examples, diagrams, each one earning its place, none of them decoration. In the part 6, you learn the clock. That is a finished paper, beats a perfect one. And time is the skill that lets every other skill reach the page. Part 7, you ran the chain, all 6, fused on one live question. Read, think, build, write, review in a single unbroken motion. That is one question from part 1 to part 6. Then, after the last part, that is part number 8, that is you ran the paper 20 questions, 3 hours, banked the strong first, thought the hard, finished everyone. 8 parts, 6 layers, 1 fusion, 1 full paper. That is the whole hand. What it was really for. Most courses, what it was really for. Most courses answer one question: how do I write a good answer? But this series answered a different one: how do I produce marks over 3 hours? The exam was never testing whether you could write one perfect answer or not. It was testing whether you could write 20 present ones when the clock would not let you. What remains here is the honest part. Nothing in this series. Nothing in this series will write the paper for you. What you have is a map, and a map does not walk the road. The chain we described must become something you no longer think about. The way a trained hand no longer thinks about the pen. That does not come from watching, it comes from repetition. So here is the road made plain: 3 answers a day, not 20 in a burst. 3, 3 every day until the exam. It is not much to ask, not at this stage, not for this exam. One paper, then another, then another, until the 8 parts are no longer. 8 things you remember, but one thing you are. So, this is the end of the structural autopsy of writing, answer writing, and execution for mains 2026. The skill is open. You have seen every layer of it. What is left is not on the screen. It is on the deck, the blank booklet, the running clock, the 20 questions, and the hand that has decided. It will finish all of them. Now close your hand around it, build that hand, one paper at a time. The structure is yours now. Go and use it. The autopsy is over. Now write the paper. No one can write for you. Thank you, Metis.